Okay, talking about the alien race known as the bull. I'm really wanting to hone in on this, but I want to talk about obligations too that the aliens have to us. The alien race known as the bull. See, what's separating us on this planet, one, is us. We have to hold a responsibility that we are dragging in children before we can even afford our own existence. We are overpopulating like locusts. I don't envy the aliens trying to hold all this planet together, the Econ on me, making sure you and your children are fed and that they have some kind of a job in the future. Imagine having to organize all that. Believe me, their family and I don't agree with how they treat us and have us keep it all a secret. We're not their slaves. They're the angel and the devil on the shoulder. I like the angel shoulder side of how they treat us. I don't like the devil shoulder side. But I don't, their family, bottom line, and I do not envy them having to hold all this econ on me together. We have to take some responsibility for it though too. With that said, they are obligated to us. Who is obligated? Well, the limb of the moo, a moo's limb, right? These alien races known as the cow. They taught us religion. A baby cow is known as a calf lick. They're known as, these cows are talking, they're saying words, cow words. They're talking about it, but they're predicted to step up and shine so bright that they glow. That's why we call this planet Glow Bull. Cow Bull Law. Kabbalah. Jewish mysticism. They can do amazing magical things. Miraculous things, and it's why Moses said, don't worship the golden calf. The holy cow. These are the ones I'm talking about. They're holding this planet together. There's more than, I could rattle off 50 different alien races that are involved in this planet, but we call this planet Glow Bull. That's a key. Don't ever forget that they're young. We're known as a pair of ants at our best, two of us coming together to raise a child to be loving, responsible members of society. They're in charge of the ants. They are advanced and more higher in their ability to think. And I'll leave it there because 12th graders know better than a first grader. First grader is no better than a 12th grader. Both can learn from each other and all are required for learning all the grades in between. You can't be a grandpa, a third grader, without having been through second grade, a parent, and having been a child. Each grade learning from each other, all learning, all required for learning. Not the video today. Obligation. Holding this econ on me. These aliens that are involved, the voice in our head, on this planet, you have to understand the word the inside telling the gent, the information, intelligent. Whenever you see in a word, you want to take note of that. There could be something happening down the road and they can emerge from within because they see something, and it's called an emerge in see. The in sees something and they might say, you know what, pull over or do this or do that. Sometimes they will do that. I'm going to keep that simple for right now. We're not going to go too deep into emerge in see. Intoxicated, right? The intox through us when we say have alcohol. That can happen. It's known as an icky aid, right? Alcohol. The human toils, they get to blow off some steam. Everything in moderation. But the in can talk through us. Intelligent. They are known as the engine in our ear. Engineers. We, as a race, the human race, we like, similar to water, we like that path of least resistance. There's sacrifice for the ones we love, and we work a little harder, and we go that extra mile for them. But we like that path of least resistance. be careful of just taking that path of least resistance. Ultimately, what we want to be able to do is make it better for the kids coming in. Life is a school learning to love, and that is what we should be focused on, making it easier to nurture love. Because an econ on me is not focused on nurturing love. There's a word called philosophy. You've heard it your whole life. The aliens are itching my nose. You've heard it your whole life, but what does it mean? Well, God is real. I can show you through the scientific method, reproducible results, not the video today, that God is real. But once you understand this, life is a school learning to love. The econ on me taught us, was a baby bottle system motivator to teach us how to survive. Right? We learned how to water, power, agriculture, medical. We learned all these things, advanced technologies. But it was at our own, we were eating away at ourselves, corporate, right? The corporate core of us, which is love. We were a poor planet, and we ate at ourselves to get to these advanced levels of understanding how to make life better for the children. We're not sharing that anymore. Corporate. We're no longer caveman baby as a planet. We have to learn to start sharing. We have to transition out of the econ on me, corporate. Stop eating away at ourselves, and that's what we're doing in the econ on me. But I want you to understand that the aliens are obligated to us. This word teaches us, similar to child protection services, the 5 that you have to make sure that your child is getting to school, that they're clothed, that you're not beating your child, that they're getting to sleep at night, that they're getting to school. The basic 5, that they're being fed. These basic 5 things that have to happen for you to be taking care of your child at a proper state level, right? At a minimum. Similar with the aliens to us. They're obligated. When we view something, we're serving up that information to them. They're behind our eyes, these aliens. We're a transceiver, right? We transmit and receive. They can puppet our thoughts, desires, impulses, and cravings. They can hear our thought. They can receive our thoughts through a transmitter. Just like a telephone is a receiver. They can come in on your frequency, simply put. They're obligated. When we view something, we're serving them that information. It's known to be called to serve. There are laws that surround them like a gate, like child protection services, law, gated, serve. They can work on you to be obsessed with something, a session with an obsession. Intelligent. They're making my nose itch today. Intelligent, the inside that tells the gent the information. The engine in our ear. They're obligated. See, we're hyper accelerated. The human, again, we take that path of least resistance. Imagine how you go through work every day. Trying to look busy maybe at times. You want to get through it. You want to get done. I'm not talking about those who are inspired by their job, and really, what a beautiful, loving thing that is, inspiration. Wow. But you know where you're at in life. You know where you're at in life, and at times we just phone it in. We want to get through the day. We're working for the weekend. Working for the weekend. We're hyper accelerated in where we're at as a people. The aliens have an obligation to us. What I want to say here is, in the understanding of, that I is real, these aliens are here. If you really want to mess up your world, introduce something to an innocent that they might not be able to handle. That's gonna, if you drink alcohol, or use drugs, you don't do that in front of people that are innocent, because you're introducing it to them, and then you have this influence in flu, the ant, right? A flu like a chimney, influence. But anyway, you now have introduced something to them and hold an obligation to them. Be mindful of your influence always. And oh my God, how media, right? Just go with Hollywood. How some of these shows get put on the air, or in I mean, people must be going through hell just to get something on the air that is horrible for us. But sex sells, violence sells. But how we're influencing these poor children. Now, the other thing is that the aliens want to desensitize us a little bit towards our overpopulation. War is a form of population control. So some people might be chosen to do that, but it is absolute horror what these children are feeding their brains. And it's because we're overpopulating like locusts. But I want to focus in on their obligated to us because they've hyper-accelerated us. We shouldn't be at the level. I mean, I don't even know that we should be at the level of a horse-drawn wagon, blacksmithing and making saddles. I hope you can understand how hyper-accelerated we are as a people. And secondarily, how hyper-accelerated that continues to a corporation that can hire a kid coming out of a university, a child, and mold them the way they want. Learn from that. We want to develop this. How would you go about? Well, I would do this, but that isn't even in creation right now. You would have to engineer something. Well, guess what they can do? They can grab a young engineer. And now, because they have finances coming in, can mold a young mind to develop what they want, and they'll tell them, well, this is what we need transistors and some kind of a photon laser and something that would be at a super cool kind of temperature. You have to develop that for me to even be able to go in this direction. Well, great, we can grab an engineer, you can work with them, and now we have this thing. We're hopefully you can see how that some people are working at the grocery store to only a certain level get to go to college. And we're no longer benefiting from all this corporate acceleration. And they're obligated to help us. Corporate doesn't see it yet. But they were blessed to be able to get to that level to help teach the human race what they have learned. It's us holding each other up. That core factory worker, Walmart worker, gas station attendant, these core jobs that just make things available for those that are above in a financial system. That is what the Econ on me was about. A baby bottle system motivator to teach us how to survive. I don't envy the aliens holding all that together. But then I ask you to look at what is the give back now? What are the different things that we're receiving back into our lives from the technologies beyond medical? Always hold medical to your heart. We always want to see development in medical. Who wouldn't do for their child that is sick? But I was asking GPT, whichever one it was I was working with, what are the top corporations on the planet? And besides oil, besides, the vehicles is huge. And oh my goodness. What are the top corporations? And just going through the list, it's like, what is the true benefit we're getting from the See, the aliens have to make sure that your child has a job. So we have 18 different car manufacturers in America, right? That each manufacturer does like 12 different models of there's like Prius, there's a Prius C, there's a Prius plug-in, there's a Prius gas and electric. Each one, of the same model. It's just the Econ on me. Truly, this con of keeping people working. But when you choose to pull together as a planet, that's why I talk about religion. Oh, he's exposing all this stuff about Islam and the Muslim and the calf lick. God is real. Don't ever forget that. But the aliens are pitting us against each other at that core level just in case they have to thin the herd. We have to pull this planet together and know that we can make a modular car where it could be a truck, it could be a sports car, it could be a semi, right? The 3 different models. And you can pull a wheel off of one and plug it into, you can pull a motor out of one, you can pull a generator, and it's modular. That's the future when we pull it together. You go down the soda, the flavored water aisle in a grocery store, you have 80 different choices, 7 of 7-Up, Sprite, ginger ale, the citrus lime generic of the same kind. And it's just those companies are keeping roofs over the head and bellies fed. When we truly choose to pull it together, oh my God, how simple life gets. We're working our life away to have water, power, a roof over the head, television, video game, and an internet when we get home. And how simple we can have those things. If we choose to pull this planet together and start talking about the truth that the voice in our head is real, we have to start there. If you can't do that, then you're selling the children into the enslavement for that comfort bubble that you think that you have with that. You have to truly assess. Always remember that aliens are obligated to us. So they're going to put emotion through you if you talk about it and smack you around a bit. But we take that path of least resistance, but we also sacrifice for the ones we love. Touch your toe in the water. Don't be afraid to go to a gas station in a different city somewhere you never go. As you're walking out, right? You already pumped your gas, walk back in, put some sunglasses on, and just say, stand there. Just because you're the voice in our head does not mean we're your slaves. No, I'm going to choose love. I'm not going to do that. Turn around and walk out. Let people think you're crazy, but we have to start talking as a people. If you can't do that, not disrupt the world, but just to express yourself for a moment, right? Take that luxury and express yourself for a moment, that you're not going to loot your soul and soul loot the voice in your head when they ask you to break the golden rule. Even if you do, at least you're now talking about it and you showed others that you're a part of talking about it. I want you to understand that we can pull this planet together, and it's not about the econ on me. It's called that because we're going to transition out of it. It's not about corporate. Now, when I talk about this, I want you to know it's hundreds of years, but we can have benefits in the beginning. Huge financial benefits that help us. Corporations, your money isn't going away overnight. It's hundreds of years transition. Musk, the Giving Pledge, we use what exists, the finances, to transition out. Things don't go away overnight. Corporations, don't be afraid, but know that days are numbered in terms of centuries, right? In hundreds of years, we're going to transition out of it. I recommend being a part of it, and you can actually profit from that. By being those that give into that transition and preparing the way, because oh my goodness, life gets real free real fast when you understand what we're working our life away for. We can build an eco-dome, sandbag, beautiful homes. We can 3D print, we can CNC machine, we can component pick and place and printed circuit board make smartphones, laptops, very easily and very inexpensive. It's all about the electronics and that we mine and generate. That's big part of the future. I'm going off on multiple tangents here, but the aliens are obligated to us. We're not to take advantage of them. They're family, but we have to show them the direction we want to take. And if you still want to have the philosophy, right? We're trying to fill this loss. Getting back to that word, I didn't go over it. Because we're not in this loss that we're separated from God. We're trying to fill it, and there's a price to pay. The fee, fill loss, a fee. If we don't base our philosophy on love, if we keep trying to fill this loss that we perceive, the separation from God, we're not separated from God, but we're in a system that doesn't nurture a growth in love. It's about getting over on each other. It's the econ on me. But if we don't base our philosophy on love, we're going to pay for it, and that's the core 8. We now know how to do all kinds of water, power, medical technologies. It's now time to start transitioning out of the econ on me and developing a philosophy of love over finance. we can pull this planet together. It's easy to do. The aliens have already set it up, even through religion, that we can pull it together. But we have to make a choice, and we have to stand up and make that loving decision, even in an adverse situation of a voice in your head bullying you. Remember the alien race the bull, pushing you around saying, don't talk about it. We have to. That's part of making that loving decision in an adverse situation. It's about choosing love and taking the sacrifice for the kids, taking that smack. Talk about it. Go to that gas station, go to the a Walmart somewhere, and in the clothing aisle. Just because you're the voice in our head does not mean we're your slaves. Love is the answer. I'm not going to do that. We have to move forward that's how we move forward as a people, is to start talking about it. Please, get this into the algorithm by saving it to a folder. If you don't want to share it with somebody, at least save it and put a like on it and comment in there as something that gets it in the algorithm and puts it out to others. Thank you so much. Love to each other.